Hi, before we move into the tiny details of DataMiner Dashboards, let's have a look at the objectives of the app. This is not going to be a sales talk, at least that's not my intention. I really want to show the thoughts and the ideas behind from the product marketing team and what is in the back of the mind of our developers implementing the features. You could say it's our vision and our way forwards. It's partly what we have already, what we are doing today, and what we will do tomorrow. I think it's good to know when working with the application and creating your first dashboards. First of all, DataMiner Dashboards is an app in the DataMiner Cube mobile. It has everything you can expect from a dashboard application, like showing real-time metrics and historical data. But of course, we want to do more than just that. It all starts with the data sources. I believe a lot of off-the-shelf tools use advanced connectors or complex data queries to get access to that data. And that's where DataMiner is really different. As a DataMiner user, you already know that DataMiner connects to any type of data, any vendor, any technology, APIs, cloud, public or private data sources. We can all integrate them in DataMiner, and once you've done that, they are directly accessible in DataMiner Dashboards. Secondly, next to the basic metrics and counters we all have in our environment, there are also more complex objects in the IT, in media and broadband space. Let's give some examples maybe, so you know what I'm talking about. For example, the trouble tickets, DataMiner ticketing, for example. Media service flows that you implement in DataMiner, network topologies, for example, via LLDP, IP flows like SFlow or NetFlow. Maybe you have a Kubernetes setup with pods and containers, AWS inventory, DataMiner service level agreements, DataMiner jobs. Let's talk about SRM jobs, the bookings, the reservations, the resource schedules. All of that is far more complex and will not be so easy to detect and integrate in your off-the-shelf tools. But DataMiner knows all about those and also knows the relations between them. So some examples about the relations, for example. How does a reservation, for example, of a resource relate to media service booking? DataMiner knows about that. How does a physical server relate to the pods or the containers it's running on? And how would those containers, for example, relate to the media service bookings you have? All of that is available in DataMiner, and of course, because of that, also in DataMiner Dashboards. Thirdly comes performance and efficiency. The DataMiner Dashboards application communicates in an efficient way with the DataMiner backend nodes, where all the data is kept in Elastic, Cassandra, or in memory. So your charts will appear very fast on your dashboards. Independent of where the data is stored or located, your data sources will be available in your dashboards in a very intuitive way. So we have all the basic DataMiner data available, like the elements, the parameters, services, all of that. But there is also a query language where you can make abstraction of these basic data sets and can really combine them into new data sets, make new data sets and play around with it, filter them, group them, do aggregations on them. It's really a nice environment to play in an analytical way in your dashboard environment. Next to the analytical data, you can of course combine it then again with the real-time and historical data and combine it all into one dashboard. For example, if you take a trend chart, for example, with your historical data of a parameter, you can combine it with the real-time value, put an alarm timeline below it, and integrate it also with the DataMiner analytics to have a forecast or a prediction on your trends. Last but not least, DataMiner 10 is also cloud connected. With that, we are launching dashboard sharing as a first use case of the cloud deployment. Dashboard sharing means you can share just any dashboard with anybody you like. That can be someone from your own company, a team, for example, that does not have access to as a DataMiner user. But it can also be someone outside your company, a supplier, a technology vendor, an industry peer, for example, but also an end customer with who you like to share some data with. For example, a service layer agreement that you have with your customer and that you have available in a dashboard. You can simply share that with your customer with a few clicks. The customer gets an email with a link in it, and everything is nicely secured with the Azure AD. So far so good for DataMiner Dashboards, but we would not be Skyline, of course, if we would stop here. All the good things from DataMiner Dashboards will also be available in what we call DataMiner Apps. In a nutshell, DataMiner Apps, what is it? It's the environment where you will be able to add control and orchestration on top of your visualization. You will be able to set up some nice user interactions, some nice user experiences, all of that contained in a single environment of an application. An application will typically have multiple pages, slide-ins, pop-ups, all of that, and you will see that the visualizations that are in there, the components that are available, a lot of them will be the same as from the DataMiner dashboards. I'll definitely give some separate sessions on DataMiner Apps, so stay tuned also for those sessions. There's also a link with the DataMiner Visio integration. You know Microsoft Visio, I think the most powerful graphical UI designer in the industry. Fully integrated in DataMiner. You might have played with it already, created some nice realistic device front panels, for example, or some network diagrams or signal flows, some geographical views maybe, or detailed KPI lists or tables. And the DataMiner integration with Visio is, I believe, very powerful integration, and it's also fully integrated with the dashboard. So whatever you have created in your Visio files, whatever you have linked to your elements, your views, your services, you can also include a snapshot of those Visio drawings in your dashboards, and of course also in your DataMiner apps. It is important though that you understand the differences between the dashboards, the application framework, and Microsoft Visio integration. So a small recap, you can use your dashboards to analyze real-time and historical data in your DataMiner team, but also you can use it to share that data with your end customers, for example. You can use a DataMiner app to monitor and orchestrate specific technologies or specific functional domains. You can use Visio for your network diagrams, for your front panels, very nice specific front panels, and for other custom visualizations of your DataMiner models. The three of them are all very valuable on their own, but they are also very integrated with each other. So you can, in your Visio drawing, for example, you can include a dashboard or launch an app, but also the other way around. You can embed Visio drawings in your applications, in your apps, and also in your dashboards. Finally, you'll see throughout the sessions that Dashboards is fully web-based, running on pure HTML, meaning we also support, of course, all the modern web browsers. We have nice responsiveness also on phones and tablets. And you might be wondering now, can I already use those new dashboards? We have a pre-release of the dashboards in 9.6. But I would definitely recommend installing DataMiner X, DataMiner 10, and really subscribe there on the feature track, so that you have all the new features, all the new capabilities every month included in your installation. For example, use a staging platform to install the latest available feature release of DataMiner. So I think we're more or less done. Three things I believe to remember from this session. First of all, the feature-rich dashboards application which is strongly integrated with DataMiner and which is also cloud connected. Secondly, we have dashboards, we have DataMiner Apps, and we have Visio. The three of them are very valuable on their own, but they are also nicely integrated with each other. And last but not least, please stay tuned on the feature release track and install it on your staging environment so that you can follow up on all the nice capabilities and features we are adding every release. That's it for the objectives part. I hope you're ready now for some more practical and hands-on videos.